Bhutanese art has emerged as a form of expression of cultural heritage and contemporary innovation. From intricate thangka paintings depicting religious themes to textile arts like Kishuthara, these art forms reflect the country's rich cultural heritage. It not only pays homage to age-old traditions, but also embraces modern influences while preserving the essence of Bhutanese identity. The distinct art forms play a significant role in the daily routines of Bhutanese individuals. Hello everyone, welcome to Talk Tales, Stories That Inspire. In today's episode, we'll walk through the contemporary Bhutanese art as we sit down with Mr.Sukbir Biswa, a remarkable artist who has dedicated 5 decades of his life to the pursuit of art and creativity. Could you tell us about your artistic journey? How did you first become interested in art, and what led you to pursue a career as a contemporary artist in Bhutan?
Okay. When I look back, how my journey into this art world started is as a very young boy. I have one uncle still, of course. He was the one who used to do small sketches, because he was fond of designing things. And when I saw him doing those things, I found it very amusing in a way, okay. Extremely amusing for a growing up child, So I also tried my hand, and of course there were no one who said anything about what I was doing, but eventually what happened, or what I can remember, is I did one sketch portrait, okay. It was just a plain sketch. In fact, if I were to be very honest about it, I had kind of traced it. I traced it, took it to my school. I was most probably in class 3 by then. Then when I showed it to my friends, they even criticized, okay, saying that when they looked at the eyes, of course it looked quite sleepy eyes. They criticized about that. And I can remember that. And then later, of course, as I went to my junior high school, in junior high school, government used to send colors, brushes, and also sketch pads. Then I began to sketch and do the coloring. A lot of my friends began to like it. The appreciation that I began to get from my friends was I think most probably the key point, from where this journey started. By then I must have been in class 5 or 6, And also beside that, every year, whenever there was some artistic competition held in school, of course, which used to happen those days, every year, I always bagged the award, okay. Every year I could, get some books or some color and brushes. So that's how this journey began, I can, even in my junior high school, I can still remember, how teachers appreciated my work. And then later they asked me to join this Sankar's International Art Competition in India. Those days the system used to be affiliated to Indian system, because of which they used to send those competition things to Bhutan also. And during that competition time, I sent few of my paintings to India. Later they sent me a certificate of merit, That was also a big turning point in my life in this field, painting. And I can still remember how I used to, sit near the window and paint the view that I used to see, and exhibit in my hostel. A lot of friends, they used to love it, and the appreciation was always exhilarating for me, I always felt very nice. Okay. Then there was another moment when most probably I was by then in class 7. I used to be quite a reader, voracious, I won't say, of course, but I used to love reading. And when the teachers saw me, interested in reading books, they put me as a librarian, custodian of a lot of books, And while exploring those books, I always used to look at the pictures in the book. I happened to come across a book called Paintings in England. I think it was those paintings of 13th or 14th century paintings, In that, I even came across a painting done by Thomas Gainsborough. That painting kind of, I don't know if I can use this word, blew my mind, but it certainly, captivated my imagination so much. I immediately, in fact, copied it into a board, big board, and the color or the medium that I had used that time was oil pastels. I did it with oil pastels in color, of course from a black and white picture, then kind of exhibited in my classroom. Wow, lot of students from, the entire school happened to come and see that painting. I can still remember very clearly, in fact, okay. They just were talking about me, everywhere. So, yeah, those were the moments which motivated me, inspired me, in this painting field, I think I can say.
How has Bhutanese culture and tradition influenced your work as an artist?
Okay, this is very interesting because the landscapes that I see around, okay, number one. Number two, my own village also has, fabulous landscapes and the style of houses that we have down there. I always copied those things, okay. And the vegetation especially. And as I, graduated either or, of course I didn't do my college fully. I should be able to honestly say that. I dropped out class 12, from class 12. Then as I got employed, I began to see, especially, from books also. There is this one particular book called History of Bhutan by one Indian famous writer, historian most probably. I happened to also see that book, and in that book I saw these masks, because I can clearly remember the painting that I did after I saw a mass dancer, because of the color. The color in that mask and the dress is like amazing, mind-blowing kind of, for me. During that time, I was most probably class 7 only. I copied it. I copied it with a lot of dedication, trying to be accurate to the colors used in that photograph, okay. So that's how, we kind of get influenced. And the architecture is another thing which is really, it's so unique, so different, so artistic, I can use in all these words to describe them. And I used to copy that. And the landscapes, especially mountains and the paddy fields, okay, and the way of life that we have, a lot of people going about their everyday chores like tending cows and cattle. All those things, influenced me a lot. I always wanted to capture those things, And as you see, my paintings, which is mostly landscapes, is influenced by, everyday life, and then the scenic beauty that we have in our own country,
Van Gogh used an impulsive gestural application of paint and symbolic colors to express subjective emotions. Similarly, how would you describe your own artistic style that you use in your work?
Okay. When it comes to styles, we are, how do I say now, this person is tricky one. Why I say tricky one is, see, many people say, okay, we are born artists, but it is not always like that, okay? We are not born with color brushes, okay? Ready to, kind of strike it. Not like that. As we grow up, okay, mostly we are influenced by other painters who already were there. And in my case, as I said, how I stumbled upon this book called Paintings in England of 13th, 14th century painters. Okay, when I when I copied this Thomas Gainsborough's painting, I think that was one big turning point in my life. Okay, his techniques, I read so much. Of course, I am going away from Van Gogh. Even Van Gogh most probably have been influenced by these old painters, That's what I feel. So I had not seen Van Gogh's paintings at all, but I had seen his paintings, of course, in black and white color. Then later, when I began to study about his style of painting, I in fact began to copy his technique. Okay, like how he used to use brush, how he used to use paint to, apply on the canvas. So I was totally influenced by him. But then later, much later, okay, when my friends introduced me to Van Gogh's paintings, what happened was I found out even my style was that of Van Gogh, how he was using his brush. Impasto they call it, they used very thick color, okay, dabbing. Then the friends who also paint here in Thimphu, of course, my friends, when they saw my painting, they were saying, oh, your technique is like that of Van Gogh. But I had never ever seen his paintings. And then later, of course, when I found out his technique, it was mostly impasto. Impasto meaning it is dabbing of colors, with either palette knife or brushes. And in that he was also kind of visual mix, they call it, meaning, for instance, if you want to create green, then we use blue and yellow. But he was not mixing on the palette, he was just allowing those colors to be kind of dabbed on the canvas itself. And later, viewers, when they viewed his paintings from a certain distance, those two colors got mixed, and then created a visual green. But if you go and look at his painting actually very closely, you'll only see some dabs, You will not be able to find green there. But as you move little away from his painting, you will be able to, visually get that green thing, green color effect. It has influenced everybody around the world, most probably, very much, okay. And likewise, I even got influenced after later when I saw a book or when I began to explore his style of paintings and his actual paintings, There was a time, I can still remember, his portrait especially. The way he has created his portrait, his own portrait, okay. I was looking at that in my bed while lying, of course, while going to bed. I was looking at that portrait and I could literally see, feel his soul through the eyes that he has painted in that painting, So see, we like to kind of, when we paint, we like to pour out our soul and then, bring out the reality in a painting, of course, okay. If we are painting a cloud, okay, we want to get the effect of that cloud in such a way that the viewer can easily wow. Or even if I'm painting a landscape, I can still remember one instance. I was doing one landscape from around this place called Babesa Expressway, where all those old houses used to be there. It was a huge canvas that I had stressed, and then on that I was painting. A friend of mine in the evening, he used to always visit me because he was also interested in painting. He used to come around and come around and then see what I was doing. And then when he saw me halfway, through that painting doing, he began to, put his hand on the waist and then began to whistle. It showed that the effect of that, atmosphere which I had created in that painting most probably influenced him so much, affected him so much that he had the, desire to kind of whistle, He must have felt like, at ease, So that's how it goes, when getting influenced by some other famous painters, and then when we ourselves, try to learn from them and then put what we see around on the canvas can be, can affect human beings, or the viewers totally, definitely. In a way, he has influenced us a lot. Okay, everyone, those who paint, of course.
As a Buddhist contemporary artist, what are some of the challenges and opportunities you face?
Okay. When it comes to challenges are beautiful things, okay? Why I say challenges are beautiful is, see, life is not a bed of roses, okay? I hope I can say this. Then I think we cannot sleep and dream. We have to face the realities. And in order to face the realities, we have to be strong spiritually. Okay. In my case, challenges are, as I said, okay, it is beautiful because as we take the first step, then the next step is just natural, okay. And the challenges that I have faced is I have cried literally in my life as a painter, okay, not as a bread earner. Bread earning is very easy. We can go out in the field and then start, working for anybody, we can make a living. Hand to mouth is not a problem. But as a painter, wow, I can still most probably get emotional and then shed my tears right here, okay. As I remember, those days. I never ever started painting with an intention to make a living. It was just a passion, okay. Passion means it comes from God knows where. I won't be able to feel it, but it drives you like mad, It can drive you mad, meaning you will not care about anything in this world, okay. There were people who said, okay, artist, you are going to be a poor creature in the world. Poor creature, forget human being. So that way, you see, we had a lot of challenges to overcome, hurdles to overcome, Like how many people, you have to listen to them, you hear them, okay, you can get easily kind of demotivated also. Most probably I would have been demotivated right in the beginning also, because there were people who, my own relatives, my own friends forget them, they didn't say anything bad to me, but family members at least, when they saw me, spending a lot of time sketching, drawing, painting, because they needed manpower to tend cows either, or do dishes, or clean the house, When we were not doing those things, they felt, okay, we were into all the rubbish things, which was going to be useless. So challenges are in millions, okay? But the passion that we have is so powerful. It does not matter, no matter who comes. Even if people come with a gun and stop painting, it won't be. They won't be able to stop us, okay? The passion thing, at least, I'm talking about. Be it dancing, singing, writing, okay, all those things, okay? And these are so beautiful things that you can drown in that, and then most probably, if you cannot come back to your senses, most probably you can die. We have heard a lot of stories like that, right? Van Gogh himself, look at his story. He literally killed himself by his own passion, most probably. Why I say this is because he was painting in hordes, out in the sunlight, yeah? Scorching heat must have damaged him so badly. Likewise, see, I'm talking about passion matter, okay? So passion can be so strong, okay? So, yeah, I never faltered, or nothing hindered me. I kept going. I never thought, okay, I would make a living out of, painting. But later, as I began to understand the world, as I grew up, what was happening, around the world with all these artistic matters, I began to learn from them. And then, of course, I can remember how I began to think, okay, because I'm painting like crazy, and these paintings are piling up. Now what to do with these paintings, okay, the ones that I have? Either take it to sale or either exhibit. Then the first thing that I did was, I can still remember, whatever I painted, I took to one handicraft shop here, okay, handicraft emporium those days. I took them there and then asked them to keep it for me. They were not willing to buy because they thought, okay, only Thankas sell, but the modern paintings don't. Then they had a mechanism in which they were saying, okay, you can keep your paintings here. If they buy, we'll give you the money. And then I said, okay, why not? I left those paintings, small, tiny paintings, okay, there. Later, I found out, of course, every weekend I used to go there and then try to find out whether they were selling or not. Why I did this thing was because I got employed, and then the money that I was getting was not sufficient. I was wanting to make more money so that I could buy materials and paint more. So that was the thing which drove me to, kind of put up my paintings in the handicraft emporium. And later when they began to sell my paintings, I was exhilarated. I began to feel, okay, now I can kind of buy more materials and paint more, okay. And then I did. Of course, I began to discover canvas, color, all those things, okay. Color like oil paints, I had not seen. It was much later that I discovered these colors. Otherwise, I was using oil pastels and watercolor only. And later when I found oil painting, then I began to paint big paintings. And as it, the number of paintings that I did began to grow, I decided to, kind of exhibit. There was one place where they were encouraging people, to come over and then exhibit their works. Back in 92, I'm talking about, okay, 92, 93 side. Then that's how I kind of began to, get influenced and then come to this point at the moment, okay. Okay, when it comes to opportunities, because as I even look at this painting here, okay, I am showing it because there was one German photographer who came to Bhutan at one time, okay, long ago. I think it was black and white, photographs that he was doing. And then I clearly remember one picture at least, okay, of Gasazong, underneath which he had written Leonardo da Vinci's of Himalayas. And then it meant, what it meant is, or means is, in each and every household, he found out there was a painter, a monk, a dancer, a singer, So, when it comes to opportunities, see, as a painter, I can easily go out and paint somebody's house. See, because the architecture in Bhutan is such that each and every household has those Buddha's doctrines painted on the walls in symbols. So see, the ladips that we have, which come out of painting schools, they are never ever jobless. Okay, when it comes to opportunity, they can find a new house coming up and then start painting there. Nobody will object. Okay. Likewise, now the modern young children also have the opportunity to become designers, painters, and lot of things happening around. Okay, as an artist, the opportunities are like in millions or billions, I can say. Okay, paint for somebody, tattoo artists now. See how they are surviving, how they are painting or doing those tattoos in unimaginable that what designs is fabulous, right? And then you can design clothes, or you can paint on clothes, you can paint on canvases, be a true artist. And then of course when it comes to challenges of the market, I think I can remember, of course, I can easily talk about my own self also, like how it is not easy to sell your products, any product, even food matters for that matter. Okay, and forget paintings. Paintings are objects of indulgence, we call it. Okay, only wealthy people can afford kind of stuffs. Okay, but we all desire to have something beautiful, right? And if we can kind of create that desire in people and then make it very affordable, reachable, the opportunities are in millions again. See, I think we should be able to influence them. We should be able to educate them. Educate them meaning the difference between a photograph and a painting. If they know, and forget about the value matters at the moment. Okay, because value matters is again big thing. Okay, for us or for our society at the moment, there are very few people who understand, realize the value. I can say, I hope I am not offensive, okay, in this matter. But the truth is that, the reality is that, okay, we know very little value. We know very little about the value of, artworks. But then we are beginning to realize how important is the painting in the cave, okay, of which Neanderthal man or those prehistoric paintings. See, we can trace how we lived. So opportunities when it comes to even those people had so much of opportunities. Why not us? There is only trouble is we have to not trouble. I think it is a matter of learning. I think if we can learn how to market our own products, we'll never ever lag behind. Definitely. So opportunities, yes, plenty of opportunities. Okay. People should also, I feel, read some books. There are hordes of books, which can make us also a better salesperson. I have read a lot of books, of course, in order to make myself, able to, market my own products, market my own whatever I do. There are ways to do it. So if we all can learn that, most probably we can overcome all these hurdles and then be a winner, maybe, I can say. Everybody can win. everybody can win, definitely.
Is there a favorite art piece that you have created, and what makes it particularly special to you?
Okay. I mostly paint landscapes. Of course, when it comes to landscapes, I do have a lot of favorite ones, but amongst all of them, there is one art piece or painting that is especially very special to me, because why I say very special to me is it has a lot of stories behind how I painted this painting, okay? Because of that, this seems to be very special for me. Usually I don't paint faces or figures, but I wanted to do this painting because there were times when I used to especially explore internet, and then I stumbled upon one photograph, particularly this photographer. The moment I looked at this photograph, I just had a desire to paint it, okay? I just couldn't resist it. I downloaded the photograph from the internet in black and white, and those days, of course, okay, I have to talk about office also. It was in my office that I downloaded from the internet and then kind of painted this painting. And later, when I actually completed the painting, I began to fear because this copyright thing is always existing, right? It began to hit me, okay, I'm copying somebody's photograph. Then I immediately began to kind of find out whose photograph this was. I later discovered that this guy was from US, how do we say, Indian origin. His name is Vinay. I still remember because a few days back I was looking at the email that I had sent to him, asking for permission after painting. Because I was so afraid later if he says, of course the imagination is killing always, even if I had not taken permission, most probably he wouldn't have discovered that I did it from his photograph, because we have a lot of monks, and then every year they congregate in the Zong to witness Chechu. So that time I could easily also take picture and then paint from that. Later, of course, I did a lot of photographs and then painted also. The figures like this one over here, okay, this is another one. Of course, this is a print, but this is my original photograph, okay. Yeah, I think. Then I sent him a mail seeking permission. Of course, I had already painted, and yet I wrote a letter saying, okay, Mr. Vinay, can you please allow me to paint from your photograph? He went on to reply very excitedly, okay, in fact. He said, okay, please go ahead, paint, and then in case if you make a print of, print of the painting, give me one also, he said. Then I was at ease, Then I exhibited this painting in my gallery. Somebody came over, he liked it a lot, and then, of course, he took it. It is not in Bhutan at the moment. And this is very special because of that story which I have, Otherwise, mostly I do it from my own, either photographs or my own sketches, I can also show you some sketches, in fact, if you like to see, which I use for, painting. In a way, this painting is very special for me.
How do you see the future of contemporary art in Bhutan? Are there any emerging trends that you find exciting or concerning?
Concerning, I don't feel or see any concern, because art is expression, okay? And when it comes to expression, most probably, now we begin to realize, we have started to understand the importance of expressing ourselves in whichever way we like to, unless it is very offensive. But there were people who did offensive, expressive paintings also. And of course, they were in trouble for a while, most probably. But later, of course, again, okay, the requirement or the need to express is important. So they were most probably forgiven and forgotten also, most probably, okay. Or maybe some of them really suffered also, because I can remember many painters who went through these bad times, okay, after painting, okay, after doing something that they love to do, okay. So likewise, of course, there will be somebody in the future, either or maybe they are already existing. We are not criticizing them much, okay, because we don't have those dangerous critics here, most probably. The day they start criticizing them from the depth level, minute level, most probably, yeah, it can be some concerning thing. Otherwise, the contemporary painters that I see around emerging, are wow. I can only say that, okay? I can only appreciate it from my heart and soul and everything, most probably, okay? Why I say this is because when I look at the way they are painting and the way they are exhibiting things around the world, not just here in Bhutan, I see the emergence to be a big hope. Hope? No. It's bigger than hope, okay? Why I say bigger than hope is maybe will impact the world, most probably, at one time in future. Because in Bhutan, like, how people say, inborn or born painters are in each and every household, I feel, okay, literally. Because I think we are not just nurturing. Otherwise, if you allow them to, just be on their own, everyone will be able to paint. Everyone will be able to paint. Because the moment they grow up and become aware of the surroundings, when they look at their own house, they will see painting. Okay. Inside the house, they have a painting, thangka paintings, and they are beautiful, paintings. When it comes to color in thangkas, I think when I can still remember, how I was influenced by the color schemes used in thangkas. The way they mix colors and create fabulous, tones is amazing, just amazing. So, yeah.
What are your thoughts on AI-generated art and traditional arts?
I can straight away say there is a difference between, something done by somebody who has got soul, who has got spirit, who has got, all-round awareness, okay? And then AI, of course, is something created by the people who have soul. I think someday they might put soul in the AI and be able to do better, bigger things than what it is. At the moment, AI is at its infancy level. That's what I feel. Because we are creating something which is impossible to imagine, Now, I have also heard, scientists trying to kind of do something about mind matter. Okay, we are already talking about teleportation, and AI seems to be really one amazing thing that is happening around, okay? And then just recently, somebody in BBS was talking about AI matter, and then he was saying, okay, this AI is going to take over a lot of things in our life and then give us an opportunity to be more creative. Be more creative, you see. Wow, then, wow, life will be easier. Okay, but when it comes to, again, related to matters related to, painting, Thangka painters, of course, they will be most probably using AI, who knows? Okay, I'm not certain about it. But in my case, I don't know if I will be using it. But when it comes to, how AI is able to create our thoughts on canvases or paper or anywhere for that matter, is one amazing thing happening, okay, which is absolutely fantastic. I love it. I kind of appreciate the scientists who created this, okay, because we are going to get a lot of opportunities to relax, most probably, okay, go out in the sunlight instead of being inside the house and doing our everyday chores. AI will do that for us. So that way, of course, yeah, AI is a fantastic thing. But at the same time, see, the people who want to, because we know the difference between organic things and inorganic things, okay? The artificial things and the real things. People will always be able to differentiate it, and the choice is in their hands, okay? Whether they like to take that inorganic thing, either, or artificial thing, or the real thing. So I think we should not be concerned about that so much, I feel. Yeah, AI is great. Anyway, AI is great. It's going to make our life easier, okay? But then, I don't know AI will be able to put soul in the whatever products they create, That's the difference. And then as human beings, we'll always be able to feel the soul in anything, okay, even in a stone, most probably. If it is real, it's real. If it is artificial, artificial. We'll always be able to differentiate between these two things and then, move on. And then maybe someday the scientists will be able to create mind also, some, like how it's so impossible to explain it. But what I have heard is, they are even trying to, the moment we think to be in America, we should be able to be in America. That kind of thing, if it comes up, life will be nicer. So that's what,
As an artist, how would you feel if one day you find out your art has been regenerated using AI?
Okay. Yeah, I smile, I laugh, because I think of thieves, when it comes to that question. Yeah, like how I also copied and then got scared later, and then I had to seek permission. Okay, likewise, see, scientists have 1,001 ways to overcome all these destructive forces. So even if somebody uses AI and recreates my painting, for me, of course, I'll be more famous, most probably, if he does not erase my sign in the painting. But then when it comes to legal side, of course, we have to also think about it, okay, right? I think it is, or it will be like falling in our own trap, We are creating and then allowing it to steal our own, creativity. But there will be a mechanism to control it for sure, okay? Like how this environmental degradation is happening. But then there are people who are concerned about it, okay? I can easily think of Interpol. Interpol meaning something stolen from here to America. There will be a mechanism to, find out the culprit and then nab him and then bring him to justice. So likewise, most probably there will be a mechanism to control all these matters, okay? I think people will not leave. I think I won't leave if I'm existing. Yeah, I think. There will be a mechanism. I'm always hopeful. I'm optimistic about it. So no worries at the moment. Okay, let things happen as it moves on, and then eventually, yeah, we all will again unite and then find a way to solve all these problems. Okay, so I think I need not worry. Of course, I will be happy, sad. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever happens, the time at that time will tell. So.
Any advice for Bhutanese artists who are just starting their artistic careers?
Okay, I can smile, I can laugh and begin, okay, with a cliche like advices are free, but who takes it is the question again. Will you take kind of, until people are curious, I think most probably it is not easy to learn. It is the curiosity that drives us to learn more. Okay, so, but even if as I look back in my own life, I needed to learn a lot of things, okay? And it was, or is, my curiosity which drove me to learn and then make myself more efficient, more capable. So likewise, at one time in my own life also, I had started losing faith. Losing faith means, okay, I was beginning to fear. Oh God, will I make it or will I not? With whatever I was doing, or which I am still doing, of course, at this moment, of course, I am stable enough to say, okay, now I can make it. But those days when I was very young, I was afraid, I was fearful, because there are so many things in life, to be able to, stand upright and strong and stable. So my opinion, when I look at my own, how I kind of came up to here, my own life, I say, okay, there comes a time in everybody's life when we waver. Okay, waver meaning, will this work or will this not work? Is the question that will always, kind of make us unstable. That was one time in my life, own life also. Because I was afraid and then I needed some answers, and I was always exploring, I was, of course, exploring meaning, I was trying to find answers. And the answers were everywhere. Only trouble with me was not being able to find it out, okay. I happened to catch a book called How to Get Richer Quicker. That was one turning point which made me so strong, There were so many stories of the people like Thomas Alva Edison or Abraham Lincoln, how they just didn't give up, Whatever they believed in, they just didn't quit. So don't quit. Don't ever try to quit. If you quit, I think I can say I'll come with a cane, kind of, advice I can give to the youths. Don't lose faith. Go on. Of course, if you need support, you have to kind of do more than one thing. Okay, in my case, what I was doing was I kind of trained myself to be an accountant, to support my passion, because selling painting was not easy. There were people who used to say, okay, who will buy this? I don't want to keep, it is very expensive. The economic conditions that we had back then was not like this. Even at this juncture, it is not easy to sell paintings to our own people here. Of course, there are people from around the world who can indulge in these kind of things. Indulge, we say, because it is Yeah, many people think it is indulgence, either or maybe very expensive affair. Okay, so yeah, don't lose faith is only the advice that I can give, because everybody will make it. Okay, because if you lose faith and then deter from your ambition either or your passion, then you will not make it, definitely, but don't give up is the advice that I can give. Okay, and the people who didn't give up made it, and they are well remembered now, you see, and we look up to their, up to them, and then seek, what we can do about whatever we are doing. So yeah, don't give up. Don't give up. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir, for coming here and being our very first guest for this talk show.
Thank you. I can start that way. I am so blessed to have media people. Okay. Why I say media people is, media is the facilitator, okay, between somebody and the entire universe. I think I can put it that way also. Without media, it is impossible to reach out. So thank you for coming here and discovering me and a lot of other painters who are along with me in this journey. Thank you, truly. Okay.